Over the past 2 months, the Avdiivka direction has attracted all the attention of journalists and military experts in the Ukrainian theater of operations. However, while analysts and experts are closely studying the offensive actions of the Russian army on the city of Avdiivka, no less dramatic and fateful events are also developing in the Kupyansk direction. Let me remind you that the Russian army seized the initiative in the Kupyansk direction in February of this year, and continues to put pressure on the enemy along the entire front line, capturing one village after another. At the moment, the Russian troops managed to get closer to Kupyansk by 4 kilometers. On November 13, describing the situation in the Kupyansk direction, the head of the press center of the grouping under the designation Zapad, Colonel of the Russian Army Sergei Zybinsky, officially stated that Russian troops were continuing a successful offensive in this direction of the front. According to him, the armed forces of Ukraine are desperately resisting, but at the same time, they are unable to stop the advance of Russian forces. It is reported that in the last 48 hours, the Russian troops managed to repel 8 attacks by the assault formations of the armed forces of Ukraine in the area of the settlements of Timkovka and Zagoruikovka of the Kharkiv region. According to preliminary data, the losses of the Ukrainian army during these attacks amounted to 200 people killed and wounded. Moreover, 2 German Leopard 2 tanks were also destroyed. Meanwhile, the representative of the Ukrainian military department, Vladimir Fedyo, officially confirmed the activation of Russian troops in the Kupyansk direction. Furthermore, he also said that Putin allegedly demanded that the Russian military command take Kupyansk before the new year. However, many experts did not agree with the statement of the representative of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. According to them, the Russians have no goal to capture Kupyansk before the new year. Experts noted that Russian troops are slowly and methodically achieving all their goals, trying to save the lives of personnel, and that such statements by the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine are a propaganda step, in order to inform the Ukrainian population at the beginning of January next year about how the Ukrainian armed forces thwarted Putin's plan to capture Kupyansk by the appointed date. In turn, even American analysts from the Institute for the Study of War continued to publish a painful for the Kiev regime truth. According to them, the Russian troops managed to achieve tangible successes in the Kupyansk direction. American experts also confirmed the fact that the Russians managed to take full control of the strategically important settlement of Sergeyevka. It is also worth mentioning one very interesting point related to the offensive of Russian troops on Kupyansk. So, the acting head of the administration of Kupyansk, Andrei Konashevich, said that the Russians had increased the use of Geranium-2 kamikaze drones in this direction. At the same time, he noted the increased accuracy of these drones. According to him, the Russians managed to destroy with the help of these drones all administrative buildings in the city center, without hitting residential buildings. This indicates that the Russians have significantly improved the Geranium-2 drones. If earlier the coordinates of future targets were entered into these drones, now these kamikaze drones are controlled by operators in real time. Moreover, Andrei Konashevich also noted the strengthening of Russian combat aviation in the Kupyansk direction, and the increase in the effectiveness of Russian combat planes. All this indicates that the Americans have significantly reduced the supply of intelligence to the armed forces of Ukraine due to switching their attention to helping Israel. Against the background of the catastrophic situation of the Ukrainian army, Ukrainian commanders began to call on General Zaluzhny for an immediate ceasefire. According to them, Kiev must do everything to achieve a temporary ceasefire. This should help the armed forces of Ukraine to restore manpower and close the gap in the shortage of weapons. However, the Ukrainian commanders did not take into account one very important thing: Russia will no longer allow itself to be deceived, and will not agree to the signing of the Second Minsk Agreement.